it, man.
You thought we was playing. We are live right now.
Say, man, I'm back with another FHON 10. Man, FHON 10 is a new series that I got where I will pick, you send me a topic, I will discuss it for 10 minutes. I only got 10 minutes to try to give you the most of this topic as possible. Subject today, what up, Big Sale? Hey, man, I was voted upon the position from the mother chapter in the process of becoming official. Now, I did my full-on prospecting thing for almost 2 years, and once we were official, I was voted sergeant at arms. I had to research the job to the fullest to know the duties and what comes with the title. Since I was voted, I didn't want to let those brothers down that seen the title in me. I'm not a stranger to the set by any means. Could you touch on some advice to give to an up-and-coming sergeant at arms? Thank you. All right, real quick. Sergeant at Arms is one of the strongest positions you can hold in the club. It is a lot of responsibility. The Sergeant at Arms also has the responsibility of being a good communicator, being a strong person of valor, of honor, integrity. The Sergeant at Arms also has to be a person that can negotiate, okay? Has to be able to understand safety and security. They have to be able to have the respect of all of the brothers in the club and outside of the club. A sergeant at arms has to be able to diffuse the situation and to stop things from escalating. A sergeant at arms has to be a person of power, meaning the strength, and when he says, he has to be a person of stand-up character. You cannot expect anybody to follow you and your character is flawed. So as a sergeant at arms, you have a lot of different responsibilities, but your main goal is to be the safety and security of the MC. Okay, that's your job. Is to make sure that the safety of the security of the MC is being met by all challenges. By all challengers, that you have a solution for it. You should have the respect, the full respect of your brothers to the point to where you say, "Hey, stand down," or be quiet. That's that. That should end everything. Your president and vice president should have the respect to not interfere with you when it comes to you being able to deal with a situation. Also, as a sergeant at arms, you should know the bylaws by hand, back and forth, by like the back of your hand. You should know your bylaws. There should never be anything questionable. Any of your actions shouldn't be questionable. All of your actions should be solid. As a sergeant at arms, people look to you for safety. Sometimes you may end up in a situation where people don't know, you feel what I'm saying, what's going on. That is your job, to know the surroundings. As a sergeant at arms, you shouldn't be an alcoholic. You shouldn't be a person that drink or smoke, or basically for the most part, because you have to be on point anytime you're on full duty. Now, if you're at your clubhouse, yes, it's the responsibility of all the brothers, but especially when you're out in public or when you're out of town at another event. Your sergeant at arms should be one of the sharpest people in the clubs. Okay, they should be one of the people that, like I said, that you can depend on to be there, to be solid. You know what I'm saying? As to what's going on, what's happening, they should be a person in the know. One of the things your sergeant at arms should not be is a bully. He should not be sergeant at arms because he's the biggest, or he's considered to be the baddest. That has nothing to do with it. Communication, being able to communicate, being able to understand things, being able to talk to people, being able to move people, and being able to have the respect to say, "Hey, we're not doing this. This is what it is," so forth, so on. But they also should be a person that can be that diverse if they have to be. That can be a person that can move the crowd if they have to move the crowd, MC. But a lot of people think a sergeant at arms is, just they pick sergeant at arms, or they think the sergeant at arms is the biggest, baddest person in the club, and it's not true. You just have to be a level-headed individual. You have to be an individual that's on point. You have to be an individual. Your sergeant at arms should also be a person that has plenty of time to give to the club, because he can be everywhere. He's the kind of person that's going to be at all the events. He's the kind of person that's going to be on the move with the club a lot of times. That's why some clubs have two sergeant at arms. They sometimes, depending on how big the club is, they'll nominate a sergeant at arms. I've seen lieutenant at arms. I've seen all type of things, but there's really only one sergeant at arms per club. And if he needs somebody to help him, he could deputize somebody for the day, for the weekend, or whatever to help him with that event. But you just basically want to make sure that your sergeant at arms is level-headed, that he's on top of his game, that he's not somewhere drunk, he's not somewhere high, and that he is respected amongst the brothers and amongst the community and stuff like that. Some of your duties are to get with the road captain to see where we're going, where we stand at, exterior, interior, to make sure that to know the local OMCs. You might be a part of this OMC, or you might have a nice relationship with this OMC here, and then you're traveling to somewhere else where that OMC's let's say, I ain't gonna say enemy, but that OMC's counterpart may be the dominant in that area, or the OMC in that area. So you have to know that. You have to know that, and you have to move accordingly. The OMC should be, the sergeant at arms should be the first person of contact in any situation when you're away from your city, away from your clubhouse, or away from your town. The sergeant at arms should be the person that they want to talk to. So the sergeant at arms has to be able to make calls, make decisions on behalf of the club, on behalf of the president and the vice president, and his decisions have to be solid. Also, the sergeant at arms is there to de-escalate, small situations, big situations. He's there to figure things out as far as, to keep people from getting into a confrontation. The sergeant at arms job is a very serious job. It's not a job to be taken lightly, and it definitely takes somebody with some skills, some craft, somebody that is mindful enough of just different attitudes, different situations, somebody that's mindful enough of how strong it is to communicate. And, somebody, like I said, that got some sense. You don't want your sergeant at arms at the party all on the dance floor, drunk and high, and something go down and he's not there to at least make a call. Your sergeant at arms has already gotten with the club to give his rules and regulations on whenever we travel out of town. This means that. When I say this means that, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I've seen certain clubs have certain calls that they make, and all the brothers stop doing what they're doing, and they gravitate to that call. It's just different things, whatever the sergeant at arms put in place. But a good sergeant at arms will always be, make sure that the president and the VP are safe and secure. A good sergeant at arms will never let a president take a meeting by himself. If you're out and about, if you're away from your home, for example, let's just say we're in Jacksonville. I just did a thing on Jacksonville. Let's just say we're in Jacksonville and somebody else, another president from another club or whatever, wants to talk to your president. The sergeant at arms should be right there with him to make sure that, hey, this is my president, this is my job. Even when some people might tell you, hey, well, Lee, I need to talk to him, by himself. You have the right to tell your president, no, you can't leave my side. You're not going to be by yourself ever. You feel what I'm saying? And that's something, like I said, it all depends on the club you is, how strong the club is, because your president might say, hey, no, I got this. You good. But a good sergeant at arms will push the issue on that and say, no, it is what it is. Also, if it is that type of party and the president gives okay for him to be here, then whoever you're talking to should understand that and respect his position and know what it's about. And possibly, if he has a sergeant at arms, call his sergeant at arms so they can, be there together, or they don't have to be directly in the conversation, but they should be within, earshot of each other's presidents. So, again, for all you up and coming sergeant at arms, these are some of the things that you need to consider. These are some of the things that you need to think about, and just be prepared to be that communicator for the club, to be that level head for the club, and to also, if you got club brothers that drink, you need to be able to know, hey, that's enough for you. No more drinking. If you got a club brother that's doing some other stuff, hey, leave that girl alone. Bring your ass over here. So that's my 10 minutes, FHO 10. I hope that was helpful for anybody listening. Other than that, it's your boy Big Cell FHOH, and I see. Say, man, I love y'all, and as always, man, do what you do, man.
Say, man, you thought we was playing. We are live right now.
FHO 10, man. Don't forget to support the channel, show some love, and do what you do. Sergeant at Arms, hope this is helpful to you. Hit me up for any questions, any concerns, anything you want to talk about. I got you. Peace.